Well, a new book called Parenting with Eyes Wide Open looks beneath the surface of the issues of today's youth. Author and educator Dwayne joining us in the studio to tell us more about it. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jefferson.
Have to say, first off, just give us a sense of the wealth of your experience. I mean, you were CPS for a very long time and specifically in school. How long have you been dealing with kids and youth issues?
Since '97.
Okay.
So I was with the Calgary Police Service for 25 years and 9 days, not that I was counting.
Right.
And I retired in November of 2003. The last 6.5 years I was a school resource officer, and in Calgary every high school has a police officer attached to it. And what I was there, I was learning that kids were doing a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing, and then when I charged them, they'd look at me, a constable piece, I didn't know that. If I'd known that, I wouldn't have done it.
Right.
So I developed sessions to educate them so they could not say they did not know. It's like, no, you did know, you just chose not to listen. Right. Here's your court date, here's your fingerprint date.
Yeah.
And so Life Challenges in Secondary Schools is the session that I do the most of. I travel all around. I'm from Vancouver to Montreal. I got a request to go back to Bermuda for my 14th trip back to Bermuda, working in high schools there. I was at Penn State University a couple of years ago working at 3 different campuses in Pittsburgh. So I go wherever it is I'm asked to go. And
you've taken that knowledge that you have and you've kind of distilled it in this book, which I have to say from a parent point of view, it's a how-to guide to deal with every issue that you're so afraid is going to come up in your kid's life. I just want to get a sense from you what you think are the biggest issues that our kids are seeing today, and has it changed in the more than couple decades that you've been doing this?
Well, I think the biggest issue is obviously the digital world. I'm going to more schools where they're limiting the digital access, or it's just outright you cannot have it on campus. And I think we saw France now has come out with a law that 15 and under you cannot have the cell phone with you in school, and I think that that's a good thing. I think it's really distracting. When we're in the workplace and you're working, if you're in a cubicle and somebody knocks on the door or knocks on your cubicle, talks to you and that kind of stuff, it takes you 10 to 15 minutes before you get back in the zone. The kids are so distracted by their phones, they don't know what it's like to be in the zone. Right. So I think that that's a huge issue with the digital world. I also find that a lot of the kids, they don't have good problem-solving skills because parents are helicopter parents, so they're always there to solve the issues for the child or whatever. And because we don't have kids playing in playgrounds as much, they're on the video games and all that stuff, they're not learning how to share the swing set or the slide or whatever. They are learning that it's just me.
Let's stick with technology for a second. You deal with a lot of the sort of the hot button issues, bullying, body image issues, all those things. How is technology changing those for you in terms of what you're seeing, the challenges for parents to support their kids in dealing with this stuff?
Well, there's more and more websites that are coming up or apps that are coming up that are anonymous. And if your child is on something that's anonymous, danger, danger, danger. I mean, the fact that you're anonymous means that you can say whatever you want, and their belief is that nobody will find out. Well, that's wrong. It's false, but that's what their belief is. So they will do things or say things that they would never say face to face, but they'll do it behind the screen.
Right. I found one thing that struck me in this is whether you're talking about bullying or alcohol or drug use, I got a real sense from you that you see the long-term impacts of these things, and maybe as parents sometimes we don't take them as seriously and have an understanding that they do have the longer-term impacts. Can you just touch on that?
Well, I've had a lot of adults that are shocked at some of the long-term effects that are attached with bullying, like the sleep apnea issues that happen. Like I have a sleep machine that helps me breathe because I stopped breathing 12 times an hour. Right. And I was bullied as a child. And so a lot of adults, when they're looking at this, they go, oh my gosh, I had no idea. With the depression and anxiety, it's huge. And I think a lot of it is because the kids aren't getting out and exercising. Right. We need to exercise more. I mean, I get up and I exercise as much as I can every morning. I exercised before I came here today. I get up and exercise as much as I can because it just gives you those feel-good drugs. It slows down the aging process as well.
You're talking about this off camera as well, how everybody needs a release. Exercise is a great one, and we see kids maybe turn to some of the releases that aren't so good for them if they aren't given those opportunities. It's a phenomenal read, and as I said, a great guide if you're a parent, and for me with younger kids that is starting to get into some of these things, I look forward to being able to pull it out and kind of refer to the part of the book where I need to go. It's great stuff. The book is called Parenting with Eyes Wide Open. For more information about it and Dwayne, you can head to lifesynergyforyouth.com.